Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom, hosted by Yana Amor Manocas. In each episode, we invite you on a transformative journey delving into the profound mysteries and wisdom of the soul. Join us as we explore a wide array of spiritual topics and sacred practices that nurture and heal the soul, from reincarnation and soul contracts to the enigmatic experiences of womb alchemy and astral travel. Our discussions are designed to enlighten, inspire, and deepen your understanding of your own soul's journey. With Your Soul Wisdom, nothing is off limits. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom. We are cracking up, and actually, we're getting started a little bit late today because the ladies are trying to figure out why I needed a 30-minute stall. And
We worked that out.
Well, you think you worked it out. You ladies assume that there is a guest coming, okay? Now, then Kylie pulls out her rods, which confirmed that I had a very nice Valentine's Day, and it was extra spicy. And then the question was, is there a guest? The rods said,
I don't know. I blocked it out. Let's go. What are we doing? Stop
okay,
stalling.
Come on.
listen,
Yes.
Stop
listen,
stalling.
Was it about your
Listen, when
behaviors
I-
when you don't know what something's gonna, when you don't know what's gonna happen or something?
No,
Be testing
no.
us.
Listen, we have a guest. We have someone that is a
Okay.
surprise.
Right. Hello, gorgeous man.
Hi,
Everybody,
Daniel.
I could have just said it was Daniel.
Hello, lovely ladies.
welcome,
Hello.
Daniel, our favorite one and only past life
Oh my
regressionist.
God.
Your
God.
hair is just making my life, okay?
Oh, my
That's a bit
goodness.
like
Like,
My heart
Thank
can't
you.
take this, okay? I'm a
That's fine.
middle-aged perimenopausal woman, okay?
My face
I
hurts
could
already
die
from the
right now from
smiling.
a cardiac.
okay, so really
Nice one.
funny. Daniel and I had been talking behind the scenes, and he's like, "Oh, I have a guest for you guys to have on," and I said, "Great, but when are you going to come on?" And we threw out some dates. Unbeknownst to everybody else, Daniel knew it was a surprise. Nobody else knew. And so there was no way I could give an inkling of information because I could have sworn, Daniel, while you were waiting, there was a rod session going on was there a guest? Do we know this guest? Have they been on before? And I'm like, please don't ask if it's Daniel. Please don't ask if it's Daniel. Because I didn't want to give it away. But Daniel,
Let's
here
be
you
honest,
are.
your guide, locked it down.
That's
He
right.
had your back.
He gave no information.
No information. Bastard.
No.
That tracks. Can I tell you guys a really quick story with my hair? Because I was kind of worried about this being on camera today. Because
Yeah,
I
well.
think I told you about it, Yana, right? That my barber, he had surgery on his arm because he had a tendon injury. So I'm over here freaking out right now because I'm like, well, do I wait another 6 weeks to get a haircut? Do I go find someone else?
So are
Man,
we at
past
7
life
weeks
woman
at this
problems.
stage? What week are we at?
Yeah.
You get it? Okay.
Yeah. I'm a week.
You're
It's
going to
like
look like
6
a
and a half, 7 right
very
now.
exotic
And I'm like, can I
bird by
push
the
it to
time you
13?
get to 13, I reckon. Well,
Like a cockadoodle.
Wow,
it's going to be
baby,
a lot
like
of
that.
plumage. I think you got to
Or
have
like
a
an ostrich.
dance.
I'll be
A
like,
dance
"Rah."
We need a
Is
photo.
that how they sound?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of
Yeah.
I
not
don't know if I'm
making it
gonna
go
make it
all
that
the way
long, though.
up? What happens if it, just slides
Lies
to the
down.
side? Yeah.
Would
about
like to
just
see
Has
that
a
too.
wax.
Like,
know.
bring the...
Well, I mean, just picture a Jew fro that's not a fro.
It just leaves a Jew, so
it's
there's another Jew
I
on
have
your
a piece
head.
of broccoli
I don't
on my head.
understand.
Well, I guess you guys don't have that expression in
No,
Australia.
I
the
certainly
Jew
know what
fro,
you're
or is
talking
that
about. I
is
know
that an
what you're
Australian
talking
thing
about.
too?
Yeah. They live very
And just for the way
sheltered.
people, this isn't actually a Jew
Yeah,
fro.
it's
This is actually more of this is not what the Jew fro looks like, in my opinion.
Love it. No, love
Anyway.
your hair.
Yeah. This goes back eons, though. Back to biblical times. Abraham had the Jew fro going on, and I mean, because I was Rachel, so I think, or maybe.
Wait, what?
Well, can I back this up now, or is this track with? Oh, not that Rachel. Wasn't his wife Rachel, or was it Sarah? It's one of those names,
I
right?
think
'Cause
I think Rachel was
I
one
was
of
just making a
Jacob's.
past life joke. Sometimes I forget that I'm the only
Okay.
one who
His
understands my
birthday
humor.
today or something
Yeah.
in America? Isn't it some sort of presidential
What?
day today? That's why all my children are at home and talking about doing weird shit.
It's President's Day.
President's Day. Sorry, I thought it was his birthday today. It's like how fitting.
Oh, because
Yes.
you heard
Oh, I'm thinking
Abraham.
Lincoln.
That's why, because you're
Look,
thinking
I think
Lincoln.
we need to just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Different
okay, different
Abraham.
Abraham. I'm like, Lincoln had a Jew friend? Okay, cool.
So, Kylie, in the beginning,
Carly, there's been no Jewish presidents,
you know,
mate.
No. Okay.
All
right,
Okay,
All
let's move
right.
on.
Now, please help
well,
us.
hold on a second. Amanda, have there been any secret Jewish presidents that we don't know
I'm
about
going
that
to
have
Google
publicly
that.
There
been
have been no
Jewish?
publicly
Yes.
Jewish presidents.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, who
Yeah.
was that?
Okay.
Jan is calling them out. They've all
Okay.
been Jewish. That's the secret.
Well, I mean, one was recently called a Jewish president, but anyway. Yeah. So
That was
let's
comedic.
listen. Daniel,
Yeah.
do not digress us, okay? Kylie's gonna sausage the moment, and I don't want to have to kill it, so we're gonna save that for something else. But what's really interesting is what I actually wanted to discuss, because we're all in the spiritual space, right? We all do something with energy healing, light body, regression, hypnosis, soul contracts, like all of that stuff. And we had briefly talked about this before, where I think it was Amanda who said something like, oh, people think that spiritual people don't don't watch reality TV or don't swear or don't have bad days or whatever. So I think it would be really fun, especially with Daniel here, to really get into um, talking more about the things that spiritual people pretend that they don't do. Okay. So who wants to go first? Who's got their weird or I absolutely own this moment?
Who the fuck meditates when they wake up in the morning? I want to know
Me.
that.
I actually
No,
do.
stop it. No, stop it, Lauren. Stop it. Do you get
I meditate
out of
twice a
bed?
day.
But
Yeah,
do you
I-
consciously go, I'm going to have my matcha, I'm going to sit outside and I'm going to meditate and I'm going to be in my
No,
caftan?
I get up and I meditate
town hall.
before I do anything else.
Really?
God
Yeah.
bless.
Okay, well,
And,
I
so-
take
and
that back.
sometimes I do that, and sometimes I feed the cat and have a coffee and, that kind of thing, and then do it maybe half an hour later. But yeah, it's definitely in the first hour of my day.
Okay, well, I'm going to put all you to shame right now, all you spiritual folks. I first read the fake news in the morning, and then I usually will watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something like that. Very spiritual stuff.
But the fake news by what you see on your TV.
Oh, no, I'm not watching TV.
Right,
I
okay.
mean,
But
like,
I want to
reading
be
it.
clear.
Yeah.
What is the
Reading
fake
it from
news?
where? On your
Right.
phone?
Where are you getting
Or are
this
you
fake
actually getting
news?
a paper hard
We need
copy?
Oh, like,
Yeah.
oh, what?
Receipts.
Okay, we can do this right now. So the first thing I do in the morning is I like to get a little
Oh,
chuckle
Got
by
it.
reading
Okay,
the
that's
Huffington
unlike
Post
Got
mine.
it.
or the HuffPost now. And when I say chuckle, yeah, I mean, if we're going on that scale, let's get super spiritual here. Yeah, I'd say I fall a little more to, I'm like left center, basically. And, of course, like I'm reading an article yesterday that kind of annoyed me where it was like so-called or self-proclaimed comedian Bill Maher. I'm like, yeah, this is an opinion piece, even though you're passing this off as news. I think he is a comedian, even if some people don't find him funny. That's neither here nor there right now. Then I go to usually Breaking
No,
Points. Have you guys ever
no.
heard of that show before? So it's a show that has a left-wing populist and a right-wing populist. And they don't scream at each other. They have really well-informed debates. And I appreciate getting a balanced, and they've been doing the Epstein stuff for a while, and they don't take advertising
Tell me their
money. It's all
name again.
subscriber based.
Th-
So it's just
The hosts.
Breaking Points. Oh, the host.
Yes,
Crystal
I know
Ball
exactly
and
what you're
Sagar
talking
and
about. And I
Jetty.
love that because they're on their own team, if you will, but they share things very non-biased, very matter of fact. Here's what's happening, and you get to hear both
Mhm.
sides, and that's just so amazing. But anyway, I interrupted you. Keep
Yeah.
going
Mhm.
with your fake news. So you do all that, and then you are like, best way to
Yeah.
start my day, like a cup of coffee in the morning, is to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm too spiritual to drink coffee. No, I
Sam.
just don't like the taste of it. Yeah, no coffee for me. Well, okay, so if we're doing this, my morning routine this morning, I had some milk
Oh,
to
Whoa, slow
drink,
down there, buddy.
and I
oh,
put a little bit of vanilla
oh,
powder in there.
oh,
It's non-fat milk.
oh,
I'm keeping it real.
oh.
I like the
Ugh.
watery down taste. And then I had some Skinny Pop popcorn. It was white cheddar because I had some more left in my bag. I just figured I'd finish it off. And I got these really good cheese things at Trader Joe's. But these little packets where it's not easy to tear them, like you actually got to cut them. And it was like a cheddar with a
Oh,
little bit of Parmesan mixed in.
oh,
And yeah,
That's a riot.
and I mean, it wasn't a
oh,
very well balanced breakfast this morning. I could have done better, but I'm going to the
So
grocery
you're
store
just
later.
finishing up what was in the
So
cupboard.
I'm going to stock up again. I put a little, well, there was some other stuff, but I just wanted to be like a child today and be like, no one's going to tell me
Amen.
not to have white
That
cheddar
is
popcorn for breakfast. You know.
I
Uh-huh.
like that.
So, and then I thought about all the lives where I didn't have the opportunity
Oh
to do this
my
because, I was
God.
cleaning the gallows. So that's my meditation. Like, I think how lucky
And
I
eat
am
popcorn in the
to
morning.
be able to go to the
I
grocery
need
store
this filmed so that
and eat
I can watch it
exactly,
to
yeah.
get into that meditative state because I completely condone this behavior. Like, I support it. I support it. That's my style
Hey,
of
I
meditation.
want to ask a question of
That's my morning routine.
why you want to be up on the news.
Mm.
Well, one, that's a good question. I would say I like to be well informed, but I think we can
You're not
probably all
informed.
agree we're getting a very slanted point of view. But at the
Amanda,
Amanda,
I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
let me fit. Hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, yeah, but we could go down the rabbit hole. We can talk about plane farts and stuff like that, which, by the
Well,
way,
yeah.
everyone look in the
Listen,
sky.
that's our tinfoil
Just gonna
hat
say it.
series.
But
That's coming
Uh,
up. That is a different,
yeah,
yes. Let's,
I don't need the news to tell me that plane farts aren't a real thing. Well, because they say that they're not, but
wait.
you're
Hold
gonna be
on. I'm
shocked.
lost. Are you saying
What?
that it actually is crap that they're spraying into the sky, or are you saying that it's simply just
it's not
whatever's
real.
coming out of the
True.
airplane?
Oh, all I'm
Oh
saying is
God.
I don't know what it is, but I
Got
don't
it.
think it's
Well,
just contrails. I oh yeah, no, like there's a difference between a contrail and a plane fart. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I'm sorry, only an idiot would not recognize that.
Okay,
Wow,
so
you
I'm
just
so
sorry
called
if I'm
out
so
offending
I'm
like
anyone
half
right
the
now.
population.
Sit on
I'm confused with what
I'm
you're
confused
saying.
too. Hold
Yeah, I'm
on.
confused with what you're saying.
half the population. Oh, I'm just saying, sit on your balcony for a little while, look up in the sky for more than 10 minutes. Don't look down at your phone, but just see, even put your phone on. This is what I used to do. I'm just dropping it all today. I used to put my phone on a little time lapse and I would go at that sped up speed. And then, of course, you see it. Oh, it's just amazing. There's this plane fart that comes by and
Right.
it's going out. Again, I don't
Oh,
know
okay. So
what it
you are
is.
saying
I
that
don't know.
Yeah,
take
Look,
away
he's saying
plain farts because that just sort of like in the okay. So take away plain farts. That there is stuff happening in the skies. Basically, you are saying that there is. You don't know what it
yes,
is. That's
but
what
he
you're saying.
doesn't know what it is. That's what he's
Okay.
saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Continue.
Nefarious. So let's
exactly.
keep going.
So, yeah. So why do I read and watch the news? Because at the very least, I want to understand what everyone else is thinking. And I want to understand so I can engage in a conversation with them and understand where they're coming from. I mean, still, that's why I like to watch Breaking Points because I get both sides of it. I will even watch some of the extreme, what we call them commentators, who I'm like, you're an idiot. But nonetheless, I want to understand why your finger is on the pulse that way. Why it is that someone who consumes your content thinks the way that they do. While I'm just sitting there thinking all the while, like, you're full of shit, 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 you're full of shit. I think you believe what you're saying. You're full of shit, you're full of shit, you're full of shit. But nonetheless, it helps me understand people. But I'm under no illusion that what I'm being fed is not propaganda. And I mean, that's why even with everything that's like, still not to go too political right now, the things that are going on in the US over the last, just say, month or two, while on the surface, I would say, I really disagree with this. This is horrible. This is atrocious. At the same time, I'm like, can I really trust my eyes? this is the way that it looks to be, but I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to run into the fire right now and be like, this is the way that it is. I saw it from this angle. So I know what I'm talking about. And that video absolutely was not edited.
Okay, Daniel, you're taking
Hey,
us down a dark hole. Okay,
I
hold
know,
on.
but
Yeah.
I just want to ask one more question, and then I'm over with this. So, Daniel, I'm clear that watching the news affects your mood and your perspective and your engagement with other people. Does it change your behavior?
When you say
I
change
mean,
my
like from
behavior, what do you
watching
mean?
the news and you go on this trip of either agreeing or disagreeing and yay, or they're dickheads, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? I get it that there's that experience. But when you're not watching the news, has anything you've seen on the news change what you eat, how you travel, where you live, how you do your job? Does it change any of your behavior? I get it that it changes your mood and your perspective. Does it change your behavior?
It should.
Well,
I
the next
think
question is going to
the way
be
that
how. So
it should,
before you
yeah.
say yes, think about that.
Yes, to a very small extent. Honestly, I think I'm more unaffected by it
Not
than
the
most
question.
people
Just
because
asking how much of
I
your
don't know
behavior
how
gets
I can.
changed.
Well, I would say it affects my job in the way that I
Yeah.
approach working with clients, because a lot of them will come in
hmm
and be heated about something. So I will match where they are in terms of not matching their intensity, but I'll meet them on that level to be like, okay, it's time to be soft. And kind of taking them down and like not going down rabbit holes necessarily, but just like, okay, I understand that you're worked up about this right now, but we need to get you to a baseline so I can
And
take
do
you
you
back
think
in
that you
time.
need the information from the news to
But
do
for
that?
me,
Like if you were watching the news, you wouldn't have the capability to do that in that situation?
I want to understand what they're going off about. So I don't know. I think I have this ability to bring people
Agree.
back down to earth. And I think that really benefits me in those situations. But I can also say that I can walk away mostly unaffected when I watch something on the news, even if it's atrocious. I'm just like, wow, that's
You're only
horrible.
proving my point, by the way, with what you're saying.
But I can't do.
Right, Rachel, say your point. I know where
Good.
you're
No,
going.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
just, but this is the thing. It's like, I've disengaged with the news. And every time, this is also me using this as a reflective opportunity for me to feel it out and talk with someone who I know and respect and who's intelligent, who's doing the opposite of me to find out what their experience is like. But what I see from the outside is that people get addicted to emotions, that they will seek out those emotions whichever way they want to, through television, through the news, through exercise, through food, whatever, but we all have this thing. And I just am seeing it more and more and more as just addictive behavior. And I'm not saying it's even bad. I mean, like, I smoke weed all the time and I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And I do it because I enjoy it. And, I have no problem with someone saying, I enjoy the emotional experience I get from watching the news. For me, I'm not saying you're being inauthentic or anything, but to me, that's a very honest reaction because I see people outraged about what's going on and changing none of their behavior. Like they will express all this outrage. They will get completely engaged with it. They will talk with other people. They will fire it up and all of them together will do nothing. And I'm like, what's that about? And what I think it's about is emotional, it's trauma bonding and it's emotional addiction. And I'm interested to see, I've never thought of news watching in that category, but now I'm starting to see it more and more like that. That's all.
Yeah.
I wasn't setting you up for a trick. I was testing you out
maybe. Yeah.
to see. I was
Oh,
just
no, that's okay.
thinking that you may give me some information that would dismantle that for me.
I would say that this is one of my strong suits, being able to disengage with getting caught up in that. And I mean, I would say some people probably think that I'm probably void of a soul, because when I can talk about these things, I don't know. I mean, because I don't get angry about
You're
it.
almost neutral to it.
It's like
Hmm.
a lot of, right. Like when I've been rising in tone right now with talking about a lot of this stuff, I've been doing it in jest. Although I will say, if there's anything that can piss me off, it is the plain farts. And so much to the point where I had to walk away from that years ago because I saw how angry it was making me. And now it's just to the point of like, I can help people on a one-by-one individual basis at this point and work on the macro, help them alleviate their shit, help them look a little bit deeper beneath the surface. And maybe that will translate into them looking at the world through a different lens, or coming on the podcast right now and making a joke about this stuff. And I think anyone who's watched your show over the course of, what is this? You guys have been going for what, 2 years now? Almost 2 years? Right. And I think this is what, my 5th
We
time
lost
on?
count. You're just one of the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks. And I would think that anyone who's seen my previous appearances was probably, saying, I think he's reasonable. I think he comes from a very grounded perspective. He doesn't just agree with everything. He challenges it. These things that are out there, even though he has this job that's very out there, he's just like, well, I don't know. Let's look at it from this angle. Or even, oh, he's talking about the plane farts, saying, if you look up in the sky, you see if there's something wrong. By the way, everyone, the reason we say the plane farts is because it was a joke that I guess we were talking about. I think it was 2 appearances ago before I came on, when we were in the waiting room, we were joking about it. And chemtrails.
Love it.
There's the word right now.
I'm one of those idiots.
Happy.
people.
By the way, it's the first time I've ever mentioned that in like the, I don't know, 80
Feels really
interviews
good,
that
huh?
I've ever done. I've been hesitant to.
And just for our viewers
well,
out there,
we'll see.
I am one of those idiots
Debatable,
that
but
do believe that chemtrails do not have anything in them other than byproduct of avian fuel. Just saying out there, just
right, which is
so-
where I'll even, and that's why I also have nothing against that, because
but you did call us complete idiots,
I
just by
see
the
that
way,
there
just
is
earlier.
something.
But other
Okay,
than
I
that,
want to understand.
How many times have you
Hold
heard
on,
me refer
hold
to
on.
myself as an idiot?
How many times are you guys going to hijack the episode that's meant to be fun?
I knew this was coming. I
No,
knew this
but-
was
okay,
coming.
but-
Tell
Okay,
me what you
all right,
pretend
want me
you
to
don't
can I
do,
finish
but you
that thought
do
Before we
as a
move
quick?
on.
spiritual person.
Before we move on, though, I just want to say, with everything that Daniel has just discussed, that's one of the things that I really admire about him, is the ability to go through all different topics and remain neutral and look at it
grounded.
from multiple perspectives. It is very, very grounded. None of it ever feels confronting. And I think that's a really, I feel like that means you can hold a lot of space for a lot of people, which means you are excellent at what you do. So that is one of the things that I truly admire about you.
Thank you.
Mm.
I appreciate that. And with that, Rachel,
no,
I
you did not
apologize if
offend
I
me at all.
offended with anything I said. Because I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I do know pattern recognition.
Well, I
That
know
is
what
my
it is,
job,
but we're not
is
going
to
to go
spot
down that road.
patterns. And looking up in the
But
sky,
back then, I thought we were on the news. Okay.
there are patterns that are, well, I'm just saying, it's like, that's why I do believe, still that I guess this, where
like a
was I going? I
chemtrail
lost my train of thought.
dissolving in
Long
the
story
atmosphere.
short,
He's
I
lost his
think
train of-
I remain largely unaffected, I think. And that's why I just look up now and I shake my head. And I'm like, at some point, I hope that people will see that there's something wrong. And that if you just look and actually spot the patterns, you will see there's a pattern there. And that's all it is pattern recognition. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I am not going to sit here and tell you I believe that this is what it is. I can't say that. I don't know. But there's something that fits a pattern. And that's all
Okay.
that I'll say about
We'll
it.
move on to the fun
So,
stuff. Listen.
what do I claim to do that's not spiritual? Nothing. I
Yeah.
don't
I
meditate in the
I'm
morning.
still
I
judging
eat
the milk
popcorn
I
and
don't
the
do
popcorn.
anything.
and I drink
I
lots
don't
of
do
milk,
anything like
you
that
know?
in the morning. I don't. I get up with enough time to. If there's meditation time, then that means that's sleep time. So that's me.
Right. So you
I
choose
do.
sleep over meditation
Yeah,
because a spiritual cheesecloth that Kylie
should be
loves would
meditating
say,
and stuff like that.
we
I don't.
meditate all the
Yeah,
time.
and do you know what it
Okay.
is? It's one of those things. I think I know years ago I used to do that, and maybe that's what I should be doing, but we're not supposed to shouldn't ourselves. And
Right.
Mhm.
but maybe that's what, because obviously that prepares me for the day in that sense. However, I don't. I get up with more than enough time to get ready, to do my makeup, to do my hair, to watch anything that I need to catch up on, because that's my catching up time. And so this morning you would have found me watching The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. And then I was ready for the day, pumped and ready to go. Yeah, I'm not meditating. Well, no, I
Okay.
shouldn't say that. I'm not meditating. I don't meditate. And I guess
Mm.
maybe, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get myself ready like that. And I don't do any exercise either.
Just for the record, I don't meditate to be the least bit spiritual.
No,
Like,
it's
if
that's what I was
anything,
about to
I
say. It is
meditate.
spiritual.
I honestly meditate to be as human as possible when I actually have to get on with it, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's not for
To be
any other
clear,
reason.
it's
Yeah,
Vedic or
to try and
transcendental meditation.
yeah,
So what
and
it
it's
does is it's very nervous system based.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
what I
not
would think.
about so it's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
So Rachel and I
yeah.
both
And
meditate
I think
twice
that's
a
really
day.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
but
Okay,
not
Do you know
what
what?
is
Anything, like,
spiritual.
anything though could be a meditation. Like my husband could wash up the
Mm.
dishes, and that's a meditation for him. He's at it, and
Yeah.
a whole hour, and he's done 2 plates. Do you know what I mean? The running water, the soap suds, everything. But so I don't know. I tend to say anything is really a meditation, but it's not something that I do. I don't get up and have time to meditate and pray and stuff like that. I don't.
Okay, I
But
need to rephrase this,
but
ladies.
can I just
What
say
Look,
this,
I'll
is
tell you,
Rihanna?
I'll
Can
tell
I
you
just
what I
say this?
do.
no?
Can I no, hold a minute. I just want to say that I really encourage it in everybody that it
Yes,
needs
you
to.
encouraged it in me.
Okay,
Yana, I promise you, I'm
I
changing the
I
subject to what you want.
listen.
Before I
I
almost lost my license for the 20 millionth time, consistently for speeding and red light cameras.
No.
I used to be
No,
one of
no,
those
no.
people that
That's a
if
direct
you
fact.
saw me on the road, you'd be like, "What the fuck is that dickhead doing?" Or I was that person. So, and the only reason why I'm not that person is because almost it got to the stage where could not have any offences for a year, or I was going to lose my license for 6 months. And as it turns out, that kind of punitive stuff works. But if that didn't happen to me, I would still be driving like I was a freaking terrorist. Not very spiritualist. Anyone
perfect.
else relate to
Yes,
that?
yes. I want to know the thing that like the least spiritual thing that you do.
Mm.
I flip people off in traffic and
I
listen to
knew you
heavy
was going to
metal.
say that.
Like, I'm talking about death growling, Satan worshipping death metal.
Stop it.
Wow.
She does.
Yeah.
You are heavy
serious.
metal. You're a heavy metal fan, isn't it?
Mm.
I did wonder how
Mhm.
that
Like,
kind of how that works.
if I'm the same as Rachel, if I didn't have weed and meditations twice a day, and if I didn't flip people off and listen to that, I would probably be losing my license for 6 months too. Oh, why are you judging me? It's meditation time. And
It's
it's on
not just your
It's a really
Yeah,
hard
I just-
question, Yana. I'm trying to think, like, what's
Yeah,
the
it
thing
is a
that
hard
you
question.
do that's least
Can you give us
spiritual?
some
I'm like,
examples?
it's
Hold
not
on a minute.
context. I'm
Hold
thinking
on a minute.
all
Hold
the
on a
stuff that I
minute.
do can be
Hold
spiritual.
on a minute. Can I just ask?
You know.
Can I just ask Kylie a question based on what she just said? Can I just ask you a question, Kylie?
Mhm.
Though. So
Yeah.
you listen to really heavy metal
Yes.
music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Okay,
li-
good talk.
So do you listen?
Yes, I do.
You do. So no, I mean, like, do you
Yes.
listen to it backwards?
It probably would
What's
sound
the-
backwards if it wanted to. If I wanted to summon Satan himself, probably. But I'm just going for regular death metal music.
Forward.
or forward. The lower core, the mediocre version. Okay, Yana,
How that
what were
gets
you going to
you
say?
in the
Give me an example of
place?
something that's not spiritual,
Yeah.
Yana.
You
Like,
must have
tell
some
me
Oh,
something
we
ideas.
know.
you do.
Listen, we know what she's saying.
She's
we
going
know
to
what
say I
she's
drink
asking.
Coke.
No,
And,
but
and
we
then
know what
after
she's
the drink,
saying.
yeah.
Oh, she
and
knows
then
all about
after that, what
Coca-Cola.
else do you do that's not spiritual?
Oh, like when I go to a hotel, I have to stay at like a 5-star hotel.
Why is that not
Like I
spiritual?
don't sacrifice.
I
Like
don't
I
know.
eat
That's
that
pretty
meat.
not?
spiritual these
Like
days.
I don't meditate.
No.
I
She doesn't do
don't
coupons.
remember. Oh, I never do. Oh my God. Listen.
I'm always looking for a good
There,
discount.
okay, hold on. Well, let's fix that. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mind a coupon. Sometimes, listen, if you're living on a fixed budget and you're trying, great, you want to save some money, great. If you're taking me on a date and you want to go somewhere because there's some kind of meal deal, you'll never see me again. Although I did date somebody who did that, but I just knew you're not my person. We had a lot of fun together. But I was like, every time I was like, are you kidding me? Really? Like, you want to go with the specialist?
Yeah.
I am the special. Don't worry about everything else. I drink Coca-Cola. I'm not going to rack up the bill with
Cheap as day.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that kills me. But like, I don't meditate. How about this? I don't always trust things will work out. I stress about it. I have to talk about it. I have to do the thing. I have to take actions and matters into my own hand. I don't always have faith that things will work out. Even though that's what we preach as people in this space, just have faith, just trust, just know. And for the most part, that works. But for a lot of part, you're like, holy shit, I can't wait for this thing to one day pan out. I can't wait for the universe to guide me. I have to take action. Does this not resonate with anybody?
Preach it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just
Not with
it.
me.
I like nice things. I'm not supposed to like nice things. Well, I do like
Why
nice
aren't you
things.
Well,
Why
this
is
is the
liking
thing.
nice
So
things not a spiritual thing?
Because spiritually, what used to be,
She's talking
what
about
we
spiritual
understand
judgment.
yeah, spiritual judgment.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's in
Yeah.
the same way how people would say, well, if you're doing what you're doing, for source and for goodness and that kind of stuff, then why do you charge? Or why do you charge? It's
Yeah.
in
Or
that
like,
same vein.
you should eat
So
meat
yeah,
or
you
all of
shouldn't
those
eat meat.
things.
Like
You
the
know,
time when
I
I
mean,
said to you, when I was told not to eat, told me not to eat
Yeah, and
bacon.
IKEA.
My IKEA breakfast.
Yeah, at
you know what I mean?
IKEA.
I can
How's
have
that?
my
Right.
breakfast. It should all be like green sausage and stuff. But like it's things like that, that people sort of make that
Yeah.
judgment about. Where people might say to you, you might have some people that my or maybe family, they may say, "Oh, I didn't think you would do that." They'll say that. I didn't think you'd do that. Drink. Yes. Do that. No.
Yeah. So
Do.
by and large, within the spiritual community, there tends to be, judgments around what you should and should not do.
Right.
I guess from my perspective, I see, everything is spiritual. There is a book called Everything is Spiritual, I think, by someone, I forget his name, but it was a really great book. But, everything is, quote, spiritual. But what we're talking about, because we're having a spiritual experience in a human body or whatever you want to call it. So, but if it comes to those things that, are perceived as not being spiritual, yeah, I totally eat meat. I drink coffee. I drink wine. A couple of times a year, I go out, I get really drunk. When I start slurring, I go, okay, better stop now. There are, but we're all human and we're having an experience, right? And the more experience that you have, the more you can relate to other people. So I guess I don't feel like it's a challenge to say any of these things because my perspective isn't that I shouldn't be doing it, but I know there were probably times previously in my life where I, watched something that someone I, knew put out a thing about how, if you drink caffeine, you don't access your intuition and that sort of thing.
Right.
And, that all that sort of stuff. But Robert, Kylie and I both knew Robert. Hi, Robert. Yeah, he's passed over now. I had the funniest conversation with him once because he was an excellent psychic. He did over 100,000 readings. He passed away in his mid-70s. And he told me about the time that he went up on, I think, stage or with a group of people and he fucking rocked it. And he was off his face. And he said, no one's ever going to tell me that I can't drink and be a good psychic. And, so I feel like there may be a shift more towards, I think people are over all this stuff. I think we're going far more toward authenticity. So, in the spirit of that, I do watch Maths, Married at First Sight. That is one
Oh,
of the reality
yes.
shows that I watch. So I'm with you on
Yes.
that, girls. But, You know, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know what else. But yeah, I think people are over
Can I
over all
just
the
say,
bullshit and all the shaming.
can I
Yeah.
just say, Kylie, so for me, there was no judgment in that, baby. So
Yeah,
don't think
same.
there was absolutely no judgment
Oh,
in that.
oh, were we?
I was just curious. I
No,
was just
no,
What are we even
yeah.
Yeah.
talking?
no,
Where was the
no,
judgment?
What
What
did
did
No,
you
you
even
just
say?
about
say?
What
Anyone?
did we
There was
about the heavy
judgment.
metal
Yeah.
music because everybody
yeah,
listens
no,
to
I'm
whatever they
not
want
even.
and go to wherever they
No,
need to go or be wherever they need to be. They would, yeah. I was just curious. I knew you listened to heavy metal,
yeah,
Mm.
and stuff like that, and I always
not
kind of
even.
wondered
I'm
how that works.
I'm doing the judging of those people,
Mm.
of
Yeah.
those, Can I just say something that really shits me again? Because I have
Yeah.
my square is open. So I can't stand. Okay, this is my favorite subject because I hate athleisure wearing, caftan wearing ladies that go to Bali or go to Mexico and
I
they
want to
got
go
their
to
all inclusive
Bali.
and they have to sit there and they do yoga and eat, pray, love bullshit. And you have to spend like $10,000 to access their level of spirituality. Thank you. That's all I had to say. Shits.
Oh, over to you,
I
Yana.
want to go to Bali and I want to wear a caftan because it's nice and loose, and all the
Same.
air goes up. It's like,
Yes,
it's
same.
I
really,
just
really
find it
nice.
brings in your giblets. I get it, but like I don't need to spend $10,000 to go and be preached at that they're
Yeah,
higher level than everyone else
Yeah.
because they've got their athleisure / caftan on.
yeah. I could understand that.
It just shits me.
But a good caftan.
Do you
And
know
yet
we have
one day,
Daniel
and
here,
then,
right? Daniel, do
and
you have anything else you want?
Bring out the
Save
caftan,
us,
Daniel.
Daniel.
Bring out the
Save
caftan.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, because I've been going through it in my head, I'm like, what is the least spiritual thing that I do? Well, my favorite band is
oh,
Okay.
Incubus.
we're going back.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
granted, they chose the name when they were 15-year-old boys in high school. So if anyone doesn't know what the word means, go look it up. Still love their music. There's nothing demonic
We
about
can't
it.
hang then.
Or is there, Amanda? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't
Uh,
know, and it really doesn't matter. Whatever you can
and
deal with, whatever you can handle. Yes, of course.
yeah, I
Of
like
course.
it. Whatever tomorrow
Absolutely.
brings, I'll be there. So another thing I was thinking about is, you guys bring up this thing with eating meat. And one of the things that always bothers me is that, look,
Yeah.
to each his own. That's my thing. I eat meat. Anyone who doesn't
Right.
want to eat meat, I don't look down on you. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If that works for you, then so be it. But I think it's also interesting how the people who are always talking about honoring your ancestors and going back through through your lineage, historically speaking,
Right.
we were hunter-gatherers. If we're looking at the human genome, meat has been part of it since before we were probably walking on 2 feet, if we go with, the theory of evolution. So it's been there all along. So if these people were so in tune with the earth, our ancestors, and I do believe that they were. I mean, having people go back in past life regressions and just talk about how in tune with things that they are and how they sense everything around the earth talks to them. I do believe they were in tune with it. So if the earth didn't want them to eat meat, I think the earth would have been like, hey, stay away from that one. And I'll just say, like, eating or not eating shrimp, that makes sense to me. I still eat it. I'm not a good Jew for that because I'm eating a bottom feeder, but it makes sense why I wouldn't want to necessarily eat a bottom feeder. But nonetheless, I just look at historical context and the biology and science of it and say, yeah, if that makes me less spiritual, okay, fine. But I also have to incorporate that other element too of, I think things were being killed in a more humane manner back then and
Sure.
in a more respectful manner. So I'm not going to eliminate the possibility that the meat that I'm eating, that it's not being killed in a good way. And therefore, it's what are the emotions that come along with that? So I will never discount that part of it. So that's why when I shop, I do my best to shop organic. And I know that it's not a guarantee, but I also know if the label organic is not slapped on it,
It's
then
a
it's
way
not
worse
organic.
option.
And I still
Yeah.
exactly. So at least I have a higher probability of eating something that was treated better. And therefore it's like if I eat pasture raised, I don't know with that label how big the pasture is. It could be very
Stressful.
big, but it's a pasture nonetheless. You know, so it's like looking at it with these things. And so that's why even that may be, in the eyes of the spiritual community, one of the least spiritual things I do is eat meat. But say, look at the
Mm.
facts, look at the science, look at the history of it. Honor your ancestors. Don't be a dick. But I think that this is
But
just part of
also,
human history.
who the fuck are you to say that doing that is not spiritual? Like, I'm sorry, but
Right, the judgment. The
where's your
judgment.
scepter and your
Those who say
crown?
it,
Like,
right?
Say it, yeah.
Or me.
Those who say it.
And honestly, I think you're making choices on your proteins based on your connection to the possible treatment of what the animal
yeah,
had gone through and making positive choices that are more expensive to support a farming industry that's more compassionate is the most spiritual thing you could do.
very conscious. Yeah.
So, you know,
Thank you.
we need more of it. People making those kind of choices.
Can I throw in something that's a kind of bit
Like,
deadish to
I
that,
just,
in the sense that, and it's not the pathway we want to go down, but I just want to say, I don't know about the
Rihanna's getting
US,
hysterical.
but
We've
organic,
lost
with,
the
yeah,
we can't see
the
it.
train's gone off the rail. But I don't know about the US, but in the UK, organic food is much more expensive. So whereas you could buy a bag of spinach
Same.
for
Yeah.
say
It
85
is everywhere.
pence, in
Same.
Sainsbury's here, organic is going to cost you double that, and then some.
Yeah.
So not everybody is
Yep.
not affordable. So it's like,
Yeah.
conscious and aware as you'd like to be, or as healthily as you'd
No.
like to eat. You don't always get that opportunity based on what your income is. And also,
That's
if you're
right.
feeding a whole family, do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
That's
Agreed.
just,
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
just,
Absolutely agree.
that's just not possible. It's just not possible.
No, I couldn't agree more. It's just like, when you guys were talking about the manifesting, sometimes you just can't
Mm.
manifest your way out of poverty. And I think that that may be an
Good
anti-spiritual
one.
notion, but I have a leg up. Well, because look, I am privileged. I can look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I did come from an upper middle class family. That gives me a leg up right away. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. The color of my skin also helps. And so even, for these quote unquote spiritual things, it's easier for me to go about staying on that path or doing those things or having the time to set aside to do whatever it may be because I'm privileged. And I mean, still that
Do you
who
know
knows if
what?
I racked up the karma points to
It's
get
very
there.
interesting. Sorry, I'm
But
going to jump in. It's very interesting what you just said there, because back in the day, for me, being black, don't know if you've noticed, that that
We're aware.
I'm
We're
colorblind.
aware,
I don't
Amanda.
see that.
but doing this work, when I used to be on the circuit, in the sense of going to, say, events and shows and things like that, I'd literally be one of two, maybe, black people there. Because very often doing what I do, within the black culture, used to be called like obia. It was akin, and obia is the word that's kind of like akin to sort of like voodoo, or it's like dark magic work, or it's
Right.
like magic work.
Mhm.
So, and witchcraft and things like that. And that's what it was. So sometimes that's where you were kind of like hiding what you did from people in general. You never really spoke about it because people just didn't understand. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I was just saying that what you're saying, what you get to experience in a
Especially,
sense in the
yeah.
world, that was quite limited for me.
I've got a question for you. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry that you have to go
Yeah,
through that.
Amanda.
That just that
and
sucks.
yes, but I've got a
Thank you.
question for you, Amanda, but also for Daniel. Again, your awareness of your privilege is an indication of your spiritual view, perspective, that kind of thing. Because I assure you, there are many other men that have exactly your privilege that aren't conscious of their privilege, and that's the difference between a spiritual life.
Yeah.
And Amanda, my
Yes.
question to you is, and I'm sorry that you had to experience that, and I understand that, but on the flip side, in an odd way,
Mm.
did your, for want of less offensive words, exoticness actually work in your favor at those fairs?
Exoticness, or the
Well, the fact that you were black and you stood out from the other people that were at
Right.
these places, did that actually draw people
No,
as in a positively discriminatory way to
no,
you? Well,
no.
I understand that it was yucky in your own community, but weirdly in the spiritual community, did it work in your favor? No.
No.
Do you think it was neutral or it worked against you?
I don't think it worked against. I
Don't
think
know.
it was just neutral. I think in that kind of
Okay.
area, I don't think nobody else kind of noticed that. Everybody was just really doing their own thing. They're in their own world. If they thought, oh, it's very
Okay.
interesting, there's a black person. I don't know, because they never had that conversation with me.
Yeah.
But it was something that I would notice, because you go and you
Mm.
notice that you're the only black person here. I'd go to events where there's hundreds of people. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're literally looking, you're scanning, because you're looking and you're scanning. And yeah, it was just used to be me.
That's like me looking for women in a food industry conference, trust me. Same
Yeah.
vibe.
So kind of like that as well. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yana, I have a question. What was your baseline for this question? Because like what is the metric we're basing off?
Yeah, or
Like,
tell
what it is
us
to
one
be
thing that you do
spiritual?
that's not spiritual, Yana,
I
and just
told
set the
you.
tone.
I told you, but here's the thing.
5-star hotels don't count.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nourishing you, nourishing your body. That's like, I don't even
Are
understand
you
why
saying
that's
to
not
be
spiritual.
spiritually
Does it
supposed
mean
to be
that?
poor?
No,
Well,
Broke?
so you need to stay in average accommodation?
listen, there is a clear connection with what do you mean to be spiritual? Okay. You're all natural. You just
Yeah, it's
go
true.
with the wind and like you can stay at a what's it called?
A
Um
hostel.
yeah, I was gonna say brothel. I'm like, that's not right. You could stay in a hospital, like, like I don't need anything. I
No,
have
I don't know
beautiful.
what
that's what
I don't know
that
what you
covers.
guys have been watching, because literally
No.
all of the influencers I see, and maybe it's my algorithm, and I haven't looked for it, but all the influencers I see are like how you can, like, if you manifest and if you do all the Lulu stuff, then you will be
Well,
living in 5-star hotels
of
continually, that
course,
you will have
that
all
is
the cars, that
new.
you will look. I don't see
That is
anyone
a
in the cheesecloth.
hold on. That is a newer thing where the
Okay.
basis of spiritual is actually there's a lot of judgment within it. Because you're
Mm.
supposed to be this spiritual being who is a minimalist and only cares about the environment and love but we're human. We have emotions and desires and needs and dreams and goals. And sometimes those don't align. Listen, Rachel, you don't fit into any of these categories because you're the self-proclaimed not spiritual, most spiritual person I've ever met. Okay. So it's really hard for you to understand these concepts because you don't fit in any of the boxes.
Okay.
But that is how it's portrayed. That who am I to think that I should have X, Y, and Z? And it's like, well, if I provide for myself, why can't I have and enjoy these things, but also be deeply connected to source and, what our purpose here is? And, look, I struggle. I struggle with the word privilege. I really do. Someone
Mhm.
can look at me and go, how dare you say that? But my truth is I struggle with it because we all signed up for or are experiencing our own reality, even within the same class, the same race, the same religion, the same gender, all of that. We all have our own experience. And there's a version of me that is queen of the world, and there's a version of me that's in poverty. I grew up in poverty. I
Mm.
lived in Greece. We had nothing. My dad didn't know how to manage money from anything. We had nothing. And I remember when we came to America, born here, raised in Greece, we came back to America. My grandmother, who was a self-made money machine, okay, she came with nothing, lived like she was still poor. So we came from Greece having nothing. We came to America still having nothing. And I remember every year at Christmas, we would get all the gifts were from the dollar store. And I will tell you, when every one of my siblings, when we reflect back, even my mother, to what was the best time, it was that time where we didn't have the big fancy things. We didn't care about whatever. And then we got one gift a year that was like $100. And back then it was like, what? You got a starter jacket or you got a Nintendo? Like, we were shocked that we got that. I've experienced both ends And then my mom remarried, and her husband built this beautiful business, and we had everything. I've experienced both ends, but I'm supposed to be told that I should be behaving in a certain matter. And I don't believe in that at all. I don't. And maybe that's my own bias. Maybe that's my own experience. But I think everybody's got their own set of rules that are playing out for them, their own experiences. I don't think one is better or worse. You see people who are loaded, fame, celebrity, status, all that, and they have shit going on. The stress, everything behind the scenes, and then everything falls apart. One is not better than the other. When I had nothing, I was very happy. When I have much, I'm still very happy. So it really is just perspective. So that word really triggers me because it's almost like there's an expectation that is set on me, and I don't like that. I'm supposed to now act a certain way, and I don't believe in that shit. That's my own guys. Now I've gone off the deep end. I'm like sweating over here. I just don't like it because you're labeling yourself and you're putting yourself in a space where I don't act like I'm privileged. I don't act like I'm better or different or more superior. So I don't want to be labeled that way. And it bothers me because there's that undertone of what that word means. Okay, I'm done.
Please,
Can I
I
Brie.
think
chime in
Please
on this
do.
he's
one?
been
Or
taking
Please,
notes, so we need
if
to
I
let
Please
it.
could.
do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Well, yeah, and Yana, also just sent you a message if we want to touch on this chart I just sent
And
you.
what?
With I sent you a text with the chart. I wasn't scrolling Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw. I was looking for a spiritual chart, to stay on topic. So
To
check your
stay on
text message.
topic. Oh my gosh. Okay. Go ahead. I think
Well,
that
I,
changed
well,
a
I mean,
long
look,
time ago.
I'm the
Go
one
ahead.
who took it
But
off
go
the
ahead.
rails at the beginning, talking about plane farts. That's on me. I take accountability for that. I had the privilege of
Oh,
coming in
oh,
and
you are so
hijacking the
cheeky,
conversation.
Source.
If you guys remember, the start of my relationship with
No,
Daniel is him just throwing dig after dig after dig at me and continuing to like he just wants to poke. One day though, you poke the bear enough times, Daniel.
Yeah. Roof.
well, then I will have been coming from a place of
Oh,
privilege,
poke,
thinking that
poke.
nothing would happen to me.
Terrible.
But I hear everything. Yeah, everything that you're saying, Yana, right now. I hear you and I agree with you that, with the labels, because I think, yeah, this is still like with the chart I just sent you, it's these spiritual labels. And like when I talk about the privilege component, I think too, being a past life regressionist. And traditionally, the people who I see that are the most miserable in other lives are those of royalty, those who have everything. So I think when I slap the word privilege on them, I, I will stick with it. They were brought up in privilege. They had everything materially given to them. But that doesn't mean that they're not miserable, that they are living a more trapped life than someone who has nothing, who has the freedom of not being royalty. So when I say privilege, and I think this is where, as a society, we're kind of going in all these different directions, because even when with that first question posed, like, what is the least spiritual thing that you guys do or that you will admit to doing? I think in our minds, all six of us, we're just like, what does that even mean? Like, what you think can be that is not what I think, because it's having just these different perspectives on mutually agreed upon definitions. So like when I say the word privilege, like even sitting in this room with the five of you right now, I do have a little bit more privilege than you guys because I'm a guy. It's like, it just,
I
that
agree
is the
with
reality
that.
of the situation, because,
I know.
and this is
They?
right.
Oh,
And
come on. There are things.
like, well,
Can I just put something in
because
there quickly? Just sorry, Daniel, just
it,
before you go on. Like, there are things like
yeah,
there are even simple things like say like car mechanic. Chances are you're not gonna get conned or pissed off if you either get, say, like your husband to go with your car first of all, or so that they get to know you, or they get to know that that there's maybe like a guy around. There are certain things that you will do that are, that means that because he's a guy, they've got there's less chance of them doing work that they're not supposed to do or charging you for shit that they're not supposed to charge you for. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're going to go in there, balls to the wall, and you're going to say, "Oh." But if you're not that kind of a person, chances are your husband's going
Yeah,
to
but
be
I don't
taking
think
your
that's
car.
privilege.
Sorry?
I don't think that's
No, but
privilege.
what he's talking about is that as a male, I think there are certain things and certain places that does give you that sort of advantage,
And
being a being a
even as a
male.
woman,
Exactly.
but even as a woman, I have kind of seen it played out in more ways than I would think, where me being a woman is actually a greater advantage than you being a man.
Absolutely, I'd agree with that
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I would
They're
agree with
not
that
they're
too.
not they're not
And
Yeah.
mutually
overall.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
you know? So it isn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah. So that's like just exactly what you guys are talking about right now. I think that if I'm going to look at myself objectively and see the leg that I have up in society, that if we're going to get spiritual about this, I probably did choose this experience, to come in with these circumstances, but they can also be a detriment in one way or another. But nonetheless, I would just be very naive to be like, yeah, things aren't easier for me because of who I am and the color of my skin and being a man. Because like I mean it's hard because it's like also not going to the extremes of both sides of well this and well this, in bringing it right back to the middle, that there's a higher and lower octave of everything. So I think the privilege component, it just really is the family we're born into, where we are in life right now. I think that gives us another leg up. And I completely agree that for you as women, there are places where you do have more privilege than I do. Like, I don't know. I've never had the opportunity to walk into a club and get free admission because I'm great. I haven't been to a club in probably
right.
15, 16, 17 years or whatever it is. But nonetheless, like that's a place that where you guys have privilege that I don't, to even have that be a potential. Or can't get in here unless you got 4 ladies with you, to offset the number here. But I hear what you're saying, and I think that also kind of goes into victimization, and not from you. To clarify that, it's like the chart that I just sent you. This is like one of these things that I really attached to spiritually when I started my spiritual journey. Was I came across the chart. I can't remember exactly what it was. And Yana, did
I
you
will
see
pull
the
it up.
chart I texted you?
Yeah. Can you show
Can
us
I
all the
share it?
chart?
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the exact chart that I saw coming across it, but it was like these levels of spiritual ascension, and there were words attached to it. And when I checked that chart out right now, I think one of the words was victim, and that was like in the lower part of the chart. And then where you get up to like less dense, and there are these just keywords that, there it is right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So, and this to me ties in with the original question about these spiritual things, because I look at this chart right now and I'm like, yeah, I'm living a third density experience in many respects. I can be egocentric at times. I can be self-serving. I do I have a lot of actions based on fear. Conditional love, I'd like to think I'm okay with that one, but I'm sure that there are blind spots that I have. Divisive, I've already proved that today when I came out and said something about people with plain farts. Lack of compassion, I would say that kind of even goes hand in hand. I mean, you guys see my point that I've even demonstrated today that I'm living a quote unquote, according to this chart, less spiritual third density experience because of these actions that I have. But then going all the way up to that fifth density experience where it says egoless. By the way, I don't think anyone will ever be truly egoless in this body that we're living in, because I don't believe that anyone
No.
is truly altruistic at their core. I believe that everyone is self-serving in one way or another, but I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Someone who helps the homeless because they want to do a good thing, I think that they're also receiving something for that. It makes them feel good. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why not have a win-win there? That's okay. Does that mean that you're a less spiritual person because you were driven by that ego of wanting to receive that feeling, I
Well,
think
right,
that
and I
means
think
being human.
you fluctuate
So I
within the different dimensions, right? Sometimes I am doing things out of love, and sometimes I'm doing things out of fear, right? So you kind of go back and forth. You don't just live in
Right.
one space, you're fluctuating. But
well, what
Daniel, you presenting that is if we were really getting into the I'm just looking for surface level bullshit that really means nothing. No, but really, that really
Some
means
fun.
nothing, and we can make fun out of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we were to get
so wait, where's
Smuffs.
the baseline then? Because I see what you're
Bring the
saying right now,
smuffs.
but
Just kidding.
like,
Just kidding.
huh? So is this basically like a make fun of the
Yes.
$400 harem pants
Yes,
crowd?
it is. Please do.
Okay, I can get on
What is
board with
the
that.
male
If
equivalent
that's
of
what the
the
question was.
caftan athleisure wear? Is it like the prayer
It's
beads
it's the
and
slop
like
top.
the linen pants?
Yeah, it's the slop top
I was
with the
gonna
linen
say the
tights.
linen outfit,
Yeah.
but I like linen on a man.
Oh,
They
and the
definitely
hat.
jewelry's
Yeah,
definitely a
I
thing
hope
now
we
with
can kind
men.
of shift that to like a
Yeah, but it's the
corduroy
whole top with
velour
no
thing being
buttons.
spiritual.
That's
I'd
what
be
you're
on board
talking
with
about.
that.
hmm
And they wear that with
And the jingly
You mean like the
jangly,
old,
not
like the
matching
Renaissance
yeah,
shirts?
and,
coolness
and loads
kind
of
of.
beads and shit.
Yeah, of decoration, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna bust it out.
And if they're
Well, it
really
makes me
cool,
think.
they'll have something
I
feminine
do have one pair
like a
of
string
harem
of
pants.
pearls as
Yeah.
well, just to make sure that they're sending out all of that virtue signaling that they're
So
there with the ladies.
just to finish the thought that I was having there, I do have one pair of harem pants that I bought as a joke to go to it was like a Burning Man party and I'm like, what's a Burning Man party? It's like, oh, you just dress up however you want to dress up. So I bought a pair of harem pants and like one of those very Renaissance
Oh,
shirts, and I wore my
cool.
Flava Flav
Yeah.
cloth. So if I'm gonna make fun of
You do
harem
own a
pants, I
pair.
have to say that I do
Yeah,
have them.
I bet you walk
I have a
around your
pair.
apartment with them on
I
and
don't
just
get them
feeling the
though.
breeze, right? And feeling so elitist in your spirituality. I know.
It's like they look very comfortable, but they're not. Because even
Yeah.
though they look like, the MC Hammer pants, you can't really stretch in them. Even though you look like you got all this trim, like I can't imagine how you do that dance. When like there's just, even my sweatpants that I'm wearing right now, I think these are from Old Navy or something, or $15 off that,
Clearance, right?
that
Costco?
other site. Do I give them
No.
Amazon? But so oh yeah, sure. Should we make a list of things we can make fun of that are spiritual, or the most spiritual thing that I'll admit to doing? Which, by the way, I always talk about frozen yogurt and pizza and stuff, but this is one of these things right now where I'm like kicking myself, like, man, people go back years from now and look at all these interviews that I did. They're gonna think I was in
Yeah.
Oh,
Epstein files.
God.
It's like, no, I was really talking about frozen yogurt.
Oh,
All
that's
those times I
terrible.
said that I was going to get
That's
frozen
terrible.
yogurt after an interview, I was
Well, at least you
going to
weren't
get
mention grape
frozen
juice?
yogurt.
At least you weren't
Yeah.
walking over.
What?
You weren't walking the yogurt over. No?
With the
It's okay.
jerky.
Nope.
Do we
Nope.
need to bust
It's
out
okay.
What are you talking
sausages
about?
right now?
It will make sense one day. We're
Roll
going to leave it right
sausage,
there.
Kylie.
Okay.
Listen, I
Sausage.
think we have derailed. And
Yep.
as usual, Daniel, I don't think we've ever stayed on topic with you or even with
Yes, it's all
us
his
lately,
fault,
it
Yana.
feels like. And I love it. And it's beautiful and it's perfect and it's everything it needs to be. Okay. Right? Because if everything is how it's meant to be, I hate that. I hate that saying. That's not very spiritualist of me. I hate that saying. It bothers me to my core. And so I'm going to put a pin on that. And as far as
No.
Was that a third density word there? You
Second
said?
it absolutely
Okay.
was that emotion of yes. Daniel, for everybody who just loves you and your plain farts and all your stuff, can you let our listeners know where they can find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me at The Past Life Regressionist on Instagram. My website is thepastliferegressionist.com. My podcast is Time with Spirituality. And yeah, I mean, that's the gist of where you can find me. Oh, I have a YouTube page, The Past Life Regressionist. And
Well, thank
Yeah,
you for joining us. I know we
Yeah.
usually go a lot longer.
Thank you for
We're
having me.
trying to just minimize the damage. I'm kidding. It was a joke. No? Yeah, okay. Um, for anybody who is still listening, if you're interested in reading a healing, a guided meditation session, light body activation, a journey, if you want to just talk about all these other things with Rachel and really talk to her about plain farts not being real, head on over to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for having me, girl gang.
Bye.